Well, for most of my high school and early college years, I worked as a projectionist for Commonwealth Theaters in Columbia, Missouri. And I spent the summers running dusk to dawn marathons at the Sky High Drive-In. And this was really high class stuff, like spaghetti westerns, Hang 'em High, Good, Bad, and the Ugly, until after about 1 in the morning, and then it would shift to things like Vixen and Bikini Beach and art films, Well, one summer in 1976, I found out that the dispatcher for the Boone County Sheriff's Department was going on maternity leave, and they were going to have a 3-month period there where they wanted somebody to come in and have the 11 to 7 shift as a dispatcher. The money was a lot better, and I thought that would be kind of cool to do, so I went and applied, and believe it or not, they hired me. And the deal was they gave me a uniform shirt. Back then I wore a large, tall. They didn't have tall, so the shirt came to about here. And you had to carry a service revolver. But the problem was I didn't own a gun, and they didn't have any to spare except a .38 snub nose with a pancake holster that fit in the small of your back. Kind of like, I don't know, some kind of detective gun. But after all, I'm a dispatcher, so what does it really matter? So they gave me the shirt, they gave me the gun, they deputized me, and they said, well, you do need to go to the range for one session of training. Okay, fine. And they shared the range with the Columbia Police Department. So I went in, with my shirt up to here and my blue jeans and my pancake holster with my .38 snub nose, and the instructor, this old sergeant, what do you do, kid? I'm a dispatcher. All right, kid, just see that target, shoot at it. So I shot 10 rounds. I never hit the target one time. He said, that's good. And I went off, and that night was my first night. And for 2 weeks, things were cool. They only had 2 road officers on the overnight shift. So there wasn't much for me to do, except when they told me they were going for coffee, I had to note it in a book. However, there was a drug bust that was planned at an old dilapidated trailer park, and they ended up being 1 deputy short. And they said, we're going to have the afternoon dispatchers stay over. We need you to go with the guys that are going to do this drug bust. I said, and do what? Well, there were 2 ways in and out of this trailer park. There was a main entrance, and then there was a back road over an old rickety bridge, and it went off onto a county road. And they said, we just need you to stand on that bridge. Don't worry, the guy's never going to get that far. We just need to be able to say we've got that bridge covered. Guess what? Yeah, he got that far. So it's a moonlit night. I'm standing on the far end of the bridge from where the trailer park is. I keep waiting for somebody to tell me it's done. And all of a sudden I hear feet running. And because it's a moonlit night, I can look down the road, and about 50 yards away, I see this guy running, and he's holding something. Well, what he was holding was a shotgun. He saw me standing on the far end of that bridge, and he loaded that shotgun and fired a shot at me. Yes, he shot at me. Me. I mean, I was a projectionist a month ago, and I didn't know what to do. I knew I couldn't shoot back at him. I hadn't been able to hit a target 20 feet away. And there was a whole trailer park behind this guy. So the only thing I could figure to do was I fired 3 shots up into the air, and then became quite athletic and jumped over the side of the bridge, which was really just over a muddy creek anyway, and crawled like a reptile to get under this bridge so this guy wouldn't take another shot, because luckily he was running, he was scared, and he was high. So when he shot at me, the shot went way high, but you could hear the pellets on the superstructure of the bridge. So I knew this thing was loaded. He ran over the bridge. You know, he got maybe another, I don't know, half a mile, and they did come around and they caught him, and he gave up, and they arrested him. And then they came looking for me. You know, and they're going, kid, you okay, kid? And I crawled out, you know, it's covered with mud and muck and goo, and my shoulder, my holster was full of mud. I don't know where the gun was. And they pulled me up out of there, and one of the old deputies said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. He didn't hit me, but he shot at me." And the guy said, "Well, you know, that's part of the job." I quit the next day. And I went back to the Sky High Drive-In just in time to show Vixen 1 and 2.
Paul, everybody.